not word turning, Daddy.
Something completely different this time. I'm starting off with these plumbing components, these copper bits of pipe and 90-degree elbows, which I've cut to size. Here I'm cleaning them up and using some flux, and here I am doing some very poor soldering or soldering, depending on which side of the pond you're from. Cleaning up the nasty mess of solder I made, and doing a bit of buffing, first with some Hulk poo compound or green compound, then with Smurf poo blue compound with a softer wheel. I'm just buffing up this pipe work. It's amazing what you can cover up with a bit of buffing. Piece of old teak off cut, and I've cut off a couple of blocks. Just measuring my wrist here, just to get an idea of size, measuring the components of the charger, and just checking the dimensions of the wrist against these blocks. And I've drilled a few holes with a forstner bit on the drill press, and I'm just testing the charger for size, making sure everything threads through. Got some old brass plate I'm going to recycle. I've cut it into these rectangles, and I've done a 28mm hole using that taper bit. Rounding the edges of the teak, just checking that measurement against my wrist measurement. Cleaning the sanding disc periodically with a rubber block. Just marking out some templates now on some paper, and I'm sticking these to the brass with some spray mount. Now I've marked out where I want the rivets to go. Centre punching for each rivet. Onto the drill press, using a machine vise for safety, and using a 1/8 drill bit. Just deburring all those drill holes now. And I've fixed the brass plate onto the teak using a piece of pipe through that hole I drilled. And I've just used the brass as a template to drill all those pilot holes in the wood. Put all the rivets through, these 1/8 copper rivets all through the brass plate. Bit of flux, now a bit of solder. Bit of gentle heat, and just soldering each of those little rivets in place. Taking my time, just a little bead of solder around each one. Now I'm roughening up those rivets so the glue binds to them well. Just rounding the ends a little bit, and I've countersunk all those holes in the teak just to help the two components go together. Now I've masked off the brass and the teak. Then I've glued the brass plates onto each end with some slow set epoxy and clamped it up in my vise. 24 hours later, taking the masking tape off and getting rid of any flash, excess epoxy that's on there. I did re-drill a couple of the holes where epoxy had clogged them a bit. And here I've mounted the copper pipe into the base, and I'm tapping a thread through the base and through the copper pipe so that I can put a set screw in there to stop that pipe moving. The top part won't have a set screw because I want to be able to adjust the angle. Put them on the sanding machine just to get the brass flush with the wood. And then there's a bit of hand sanding here and some finishing oil just onto the teak. Couple of coats of finishing oil. And now a bit more buffing with the good old green Hulk poo and Smurf poo. And I've masked off the wood so we don't get all that black going into the wood grain. Here we are with the Smurf poo on the softer buffing wheel. And this brought up the brass and the copper rivets beautifully. Final buff with a bit of Vonax. You can see how good that looks. Here I'm making some logos out of a piece of leather, and I've stamped my logo on there, and I'm just going to dye that. I've cut them out and I'm just trying them into the holder there. Test fitting the charger And then we're using some 5-minute epoxy just to glue that charger into place and the logo discs. And here I'm threading the lead through the copper pipe and through the base, attaching the mount. And here I've just used a bit of Milliput to fix that cable to stop it being pulled. Some contact adhesive on some non-slip mat just to put under the base, and I'm just cutting away the excess here. And this is it, the Steampunk style Apple Watch charger. Very heavy, it's all made of teak, brass plate, copper rivets and copper piping. And it's all soldered components, and yeah, very, very pleased with that. Oversized, over-engineered in true steampunk style. And it looks all lovely where it's polished up, but I shall probably let it tarnish in time. I quite like the slightly tarnished look, but you could always pull it all apart and polish it up if need be. I used the USB-C style charger for this. I bought an extra charger, so I've got one for when I go away and one for home for this nightstand, and this is the one I bought, and it's got the USB-C connector. The reason I did that, two reasons. One is it's a lot easier to thread it through things because it's a much smaller plug on the end, connect or socket thing on the end. And the other thing is it does seem that Apple are gradually switching over to these USB-C things for some of their newer products. So that's the lead, and it goes into this charger, which has got the different USB socket on it. So we should be able to take the watch straight off my wrist, and pop it straight onto the magnetic charging spot. There we are, all charging up. And as you can see, you can use it as a nightstand, bedside clock. Well, bit of a daft project. Hope you liked it. Be back soon with some more projects. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like, share and subscribe. Costs nothing to subscribe, and if you hit that bell icon, then you'll be notified when I put up any future videos. But if you hang around a bit longer, I'm just going to do a quick review of the microphone that I'm actually doing this voiceover with, because I got some post. Anyway, I'll be back soon with some more videos. Well, yeah, I got some post. If you're not into techie stuff, you might want to fast forward. I was sent this for free, but I'm not being paid to review it, and I haven't got any affiliate link to this. But I really like this bit of kit, so I thought I'd share it with you. It's a Pseudotac microphone. Here's the microphone all set up on its stand with the pop filter and the shock mount to reduce vibration. Lovely stand. So and it all connects via USB, so you can connect this to your computer or Mac or whatever. And I've found that using one of these little Apple adapters, you can connect that, so it gives you a lightning connector on the end, and it goes straight into my iPad, which is brilliant for me because it means I do all my editing on my iPad, so it just makes it easy. So all the voiceovers you hear in this video will be from this Pseudotac microphone, so I'll give you an idea about the quality of it. You have to bear in mind that this is a microphone really for podcasts and doing voiceovers and that kind of thing, and you do ideally talk to it quite close, and it's got a cardioid pickup, so it will pick up the sound, immediately in front of it, but not much behind. So for doing distance work where I'm talking to camera, I'm using a shotgun mic on there, which I will show you a quick picture of. So there's my shotgun mic, my Rode Video Pro, and that's just on top of my little Canon M50, and that's what I do my when I'm talking to camera. That's what I'm using. I'll leave a link to the microphone in the description. As I say, I've got no affiliate link to this or anything, but I liked it, so I thought I'd share it with you.
Please like, share and subscribe. My daddy needs all the help he can get. More rubbish coming soon.